Welcome to the Deep Dive. If you're here, you want to get smart about important topics, fast, without getting totally bogged down.
You want the real substance, the key insights.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And delivered clearly. So today we're diving deep into digital self-help.
Right. So what we mean by that is using technology, think apps, online courses, virtual coaching, that sort of thing. All aimed at helping you grow personally or professionally. It could be anything, really. Learning new skills, mindfulness, well-being.
All through digital channels.
Yeah.
And we've looked at a lot of material for this. Overviews, specific app reviews, trend reports, you name it.
Yeah, real mix.
Our mission here is simple. Give you a complete, thorough picture, the good, the bad, of digital self-help. We'll break down any jargon, too.
Absolutely. The idea is to help you make informed choices.
Yeah.
Because, technology offers some amazing opportunities here. But there are definitely challenges and things to watch out for. It's about balance.
Okay, let's get into it then. Starting with the upsides. What makes digital self-help so appealing? Convenience seems like a big one.
Oh, it's a game changer, honestly. It's democratized access in a huge way. Remember needing to be in a specific place at a specific time.
Totally. Fixed schedules, physical locations, gone.
Now you can tap into resources pretty much anytime, anywhere. On your commute, waiting for coffee, relaxing at home.
And you mentioned offline access, too. That's key for me.
Yeah, a lot of tools let you download content. So no constant internet needed, which is great if you're moving around.
That flexibility is huge.
Yeah.
And it goes beyond just fitting it into spare moments, right? Like online courses.
Oh, definitely. Geographical barriers basically evaporated. You can enroll in courses from top universities, experts all over the world, right from your couch.
And virtual coaching fits that mold, too.
Exactly. Need specialized guidance. You can connect with coaches globally. Location just isn't the barrier it used to be. It's self-improvement on demand globally.
Okay, so access is massive. What about cost? Traditional workshops, personal coaching, they can get pricey.
Yeah, that's often a major hurdle. Digital options, often much more budget-friendly.
How's that?
Well, many apps are free or have low-cost subscriptions. Compare that to, say, a weekend seminar. The difference is significant.
Right. Makes continuous learning more feasible for more people.
Definitely. And online courses often follow suit. Lower overheads for the providers, no physical classrooms, fewer materials costs.
Means lower fees for the learner. Makes sense.
And virtual coaching, too, tends to be more economical. Coaches save on travel, office space.
And pass some savings on. So,
Yeah?
accessibility and affordability. What else?
Well, the sheer variety of content and the potential for personalization are huge draws.
Okay, tell me more about that. Variety how?
Think about self-improvement apps. Their libraries can be vast. Mindfulness, stress management, focus techniques, career skills, new hobbies. It's all in there.
So you can pick and choose what you need right now.
Exactly. And many use algorithms, those smart systems.
Like on Netflix, suggesting shows.
Kind of, yeah. But here, they analyze your goals, your preferences, maybe even how you learn best.
To recommend the most relevant stuff for you.
Precisely. It gets tailored.
Oh.
Online courses offer huge variety, too, obviously. Plus, many are self-paced.
Ah, so you learn on your own schedule, at your own speed?
Right, which is great for fitting it around work or family. And then virtual coaching is perhaps the most personalized.
Because it's one-on-one.
Yeah. A good coach tailors everything, guidance, feedback, strategies, specifically to your situation and goals. It's highly targeted.
So it really adapts to the individual, not a one-size-fits-all approach.
Exactly. That's the goal anyway.
Okay, so convenient, affordable, personalized. What about support, accountability, habit building? Does digital help there?
It certainly can. Some apps have built-in communities, often anonymous.
So peer support without revealing your identity.
Right. Sharing experiences, getting encouragement. That can be surprisingly powerful, even online.
That sense of I'm not alone in this.
Yeah. And then there are the accountability features baked into many tools.
Like what?
Progress trackers, goal-setting tools, reminders. They give you that visual feedback, keep you engaged.
Seeing that progress bar move definitely helps. And some use. Gamification, you called it. What's that about?
Gamification. It's basically adding game-like elements. Earning points, getting badges, leaderboards, challenges.
To make self-improvement feel less like work?
Pretty much. More engaging, more fun. It can really help build motivation and make positive habits stick over time.
Clever. And virtual coaches.
Yeah.
How do they fit into support and accountability?
They're central to it, really. Ongoing support, regular feedback, and just knowing someone's checking in.
Right, that human element of accountability.
Exactly. It makes a big difference in keeping people on track. They're like your dedicated guide.
Now, here's something maybe less obvious. Our sources suggested even social media can be a tool here for communication and networking. Seems counterintuitive.
Yeah, it does, because we often see it as just a distraction, a time sink.
Right, endless scrolling.
But used intentionally, it can be a platform for honing communication skills, engaging in thoughtful discussions, debating ideas respectfully.
So active participation, not passive consumption.
Exactly. And for networking, it's incredibly powerful. LinkedIn, Twitter, even Instagram. Connecting with experts, colleagues globally is easier than ever.
It's about being proactive in building those connections then.
Precisely. Meaningful engagement, building real relationships.
Yeah.
That's how you leverage it for growth. Quality over just quantity.
Okay, quite a few compelling upsides. But we need balance. Let's pivot to the downsides, the challenges. What are the big concerns?
Well, a major one is effectiveness, especially with mental health apps. Is there solid scientific proof they work as well as, say, traditional therapy?
And the answer is,
Often. Limited. There's research, but it's not always as rigorous or extensive as for established therapies.
yeah.
We need more robust evidence for many apps.
So the marketing might be ahead of the science sometimes.
That can happen, and related to that is the lack of regulation in the behavioral health app market. It's a bit Wild West out there. Meaning quality varies hugely. Effectiveness varies. It's really hard for a consumer to know which apps are genuinely helpful and based on good principles.
And which are maybe just flashy but not effective? Or worse.
Potentially, yes. Discerning quality is a real challenge without strong oversight or clear standards.
Okay, effectiveness and regulation concerns. What else? Privacy must be a big one, especially with mental health data.
Absolutely critical. These apps can handle incredibly sensitive information, moods, thoughts, behaviors.
Yeah, stuff you wouldn't want shared widely.
Exactly. But there have been reports, documented cases, of supposedly anonymized user data being shared with third parties.
Anonymized, meaning names removed, but the data itself is shared.
That's the idea. But de-anonymization can sometimes be possible, and even aggregated data reveals patterns. It raises huge ethical flags and erodes trust.
It's definitely unsettling.
It is, and the sheer amount of data collected creates vulnerability. Plus, some apps use passive data collection like tracking your GPS location.
Without you necessarily realizing it.
Sometimes without explicit, clear awareness, yes, which many people find invasive.
Okay, privacy is a minefield. What about overselling, promising too much?
That's another concern. Some marketing practices can be misleading, promising unrealistic outcomes.
Setting people up for disappointment.
Yes, and potentially worse. If someone relies on an app promising a quick fix when they actually need professional help.
It could deter them from seeking that necessary care.
Exactly. That's a serious ethical issue. Relying solely on apps, especially for significant mental health challenges, and neglecting personalized care from a therapist, that's risky.
That links to another point, doesn't it? Self-diagnosis.
It does. Many mental health apps are designed for specific conditions. So to choose the right app, you often have to sort of diagnose yourself first.
But mental health is complex, right? Symptoms overlap.
Very complex. People often have multiple issues, co-occurring conditions. An app targeting just one thing might miss the bigger picture entirely.
Leaving other needs unmet.
Precisely. And it's worth remembering that unguided self-help apps where it's just you and the app, no professional input, often show only modest effects compared to interventions with professional support.
Okay, let's shift to online learning specifically. Flexibility is great, but what's the flip side?
Procrastination is a big one. Without that structure of a physical classroom, the fixed times, the immediate accountability, it's just easier to put things off.
I can definitely see that. It demands a lot of self-discipline.
Absolutely. Strong time management skills are crucial for success in online learning. You have to carve out the time and stick to it.
And what about the social side? Does it feel isolating?
It can, for some people. Online learning is often a solitary activity. You miss those casual chats before class, the spontaneous group discussions, that sense of community.
Those informal connections you build in person, does that apply to virtual coaching too?
To some extent. While you get that one-on-one support, it might not fully replicate the group dynamic or peer support you might find in, say, an in-person workshop. Building really deep bonds can sometimes be harder without physical presence.
And just the practicalities, technology itself can be a barrier, right?
Definitely. You need reliable internet, a decent device, and some basic tech skills, Glitches happen, connections drop. It can be disruptive.
Not always smooth sailing.
No. And basic computer literacy is pretty much must. This obviously creates inequality. Not everyone has the same access to tech or the skills to use it effectively.
A really important point about equity. Lastly, any specific challenges in building the relationship in virtual coaching?
Yeah, establishing that initial rapport, building trust.
Yeah.
It can be tougher without being in the same room. You miss subtle, nonverbal cues, body language, micro-expressions.
Things that help build connection.
Exactly. So coaches really need to be more intentional, more deliberate in how they build that relationship virtually.
Requires a different skill set, perhaps.
Yeah.
Okay, benefits, drawbacks.
Yeah.
A lot to weigh up. Let's briefly map out the types of digital self-help tools we're seeing.
Sure. It's a really diverse landscape. Meditation and mindfulness apps are huge, obviously. Tons of options, different approaches, various pricing-free, subscription, etc.
We see those everywhere. What about getting organized?
Productivity software is another massive category. Everything from simple task lists to complex project management tools, often with collaboration features. And AI is creeping in here, too.
AI for scheduling, prioritizing.
Yeah, helping automate things. Then you have online learning platforms for skill development.
Like Coursera, Udemy, those kinds of places.
Exactly. Offering courses on almost anything you can imagine. Business, tech, creative skills, personal growth. Often partnering with universities or experts.
It's like a global campus online. And mental wellness apps.
A rapidly growing area. Reflects greater awareness. These often use evidence-based techniques like CBT principles for stress, anxiety, mood. Features like tracking, exercises, sometimes even AI chatbots for initial support.
And finally, virtual coaching platforms.
Right. These are tools for coaches to run their business online. Scheduling, client management, payments, sometimes even course creation tools built in. Ranges from basic to really comprehensive.
Wow, okay. There really is an app or platform for almost everything. Which brings us back to potential overwhelm. How do we use these tools mindfully?
That's the crucial question. Just because it's there doesn't mean you need to be constantly plugged in. Mindful use is key to getting the benefits without the burnout.
So what does mindful use look like in practice?
It starts with setting boundaries. Conscious decisions like tech-free times or zones, no phones at dinner or out of the bedroom.
Setting physical limits.
Yes, and mental ones too. Reflecting on why you're picking up your device. Is it intentional, purposeful, or just habit, boredom? Setting an intention before you open that self-help app can make a big difference.
Being purposeful. Got it. What about the constant interruptions? Notifications.
Managing those is vital. Use Do Not Disturb. Be ruthless about turning off non-essential notifications. Create those tech-free zones we mentioned. Close irrelevant browser tabs when you're trying to focus on a course.
Minimize the digital clutter.
Exactly. You can even use specific blocker apps or extensions if you need extra help staying off distracting sites.
And stepping away completely. Digital detoxes.
Super important. Schedule regular breaks from all screens. An evening, a full day, whatever works. Fill that time with offline stuff, hobbies, nature, real-life connection. Replace scrolling with something genuinely restorative.
Recharge the batteries offline.
Yes.
Makes sense. And information overload. So much content out there.
Yeah, managing that flood is key. Set time limits for browsing or research. Prioritize ruthlessly what do you really need to know right now. Curate your sources. Stick to trusted, high-quality ones. Don't try to read everything.
Quality over quantity again.
Definitely. Have a system to organize what you do find useful.
Yeah.
And consciously balance consumption. Don't just consume, apply. Limit how many different experts or apps you follow on one topic. Filter aggressively.
Really practical strategies. Okay, let's look ahead. What's coming next? What's the future hold for digital self-help? AI seems to be everywhere.
It's definitely a major trend. AI-powered coaching platforms are evolving fast. AI isn't just automating scheduling, it's starting to offer personalized guidance, real-time feedback.
Like having an AI coach.
Sort of, yeah. AI that assesses progress, tailors advice, offers 24/7 support via chatbots. It can help with goal setting, track patterns, build consistency.
Sounds very efficient. Scalable too, I imagine.
Potentially much more scalable and cost-effective than human coaching alone. AI might even give real-time feedback on your communication style or help coaches create content. The prediction is AI agents, virtual teammates. They'll become more common.
A big shift. But what about the human touch? Empathy.
Crucial point. AI is a tool, a powerful one. But there are ethical considerations. And for deep, nuanced coaching, human empathy, connection, that's irreplaceable, I think. AI complements, it doesn't fully replace. Not yet, anyway.
Good distinction. What about virtual reality? VR.
Another really exciting area, VR offers incredibly immersive experiences for therapy and personal development.
How so?
Well, take VR exposure therapy, VRDT. It lets people confront fears, heights, public speaking, PTSD triggers in a safe, controlled virtual space.
Sounds powerful. Does it work?
Research is showing real promise. Good results for anxiety, depression, ADHD, PTSD, phobias. It's effective for practicing skills, too. Social skills, confidence building.
Practicing in a safe simulation before the real world.
Exactly. Or creating calming VR environments for stress reduction. Learning mindfulness or self-compassion skills in an immersive way. It's even being used in pain management, rehab.
Wow. Broad applications. Any hurdles?
Sure, cost of equipment is still a factor. Accessibility, some people experience cyber sickness. So challenges remain for widespread adoption, but the potential is huge.
Definitely one to watch.
Mm-hmm.
So bringing it all together, how do we create a balanced integration? Use these tools well without letting them take over.
It really boils down to conscious choices. Setting those limits and boundaries. We talked about tech-free times and places, digital curfews before bed.
Being intentional about when and where tech fits.
Right. And practicing mindful consumption. Being present when using tech. Asking, is this adding value? Am I using this purposefully, aligned with my goals?
Not just mindless clicking.
Exactly. And crucially, prioritizing offline life.
Yeah.
Making dedicated time for hobbies, real-world interactions, physical activity. Things that nourish you away from a screen.
Using tech to support self-care, not replace it.
Precisely. Fitness trackers, meditation apps, sleep monitors, online support groups, digital journals. They can all be helpful tools when used thoughtfully as part of a broader approach.
Integrated, not dominant.
Yes. And finally, creating a balanced schedule, setting screen time limits, allocating time for both online and offline activities, maybe even scheduling your potentially distracting online stuff so it doesn't bleed into everything else. Consistent routines, especially winding down without screens at night.
That all sounds like solid advice for navigating this.
Yeah.
Okay, we've covered a lot of ground. To wrap up, what are the main takeaways?
I think number one is recognizing the huge benefits, accessibility, personalization. Digital tools put incredible resources at our fingertips.
Right.
But number two, be critically aware of the downsides. Privacy risks are real. Effectiveness isn't always proven. Don't just accept the marketing hype.
So proceed with informed caution.
Exactly. The key really is finding your mindful, intentional balance. Use the tools, but don't let them use you. Blend digital resources with offline activities and real-world connections.
And keep an eye on the future with AI and VR, but stay grounded.
Absolutely. Thoughtful integration is the name of the game for sustainable growth and well-being.
Fantastic. Thanks for breaking that all down. So a final thought for everyone listening. What's one small change you could make today to be more mindful with your digital self-help tools? Or looking ahead, how might AI or VR genuinely fit into your growth journey? Something to ponder. Thanks for joining us on The Deep Dive.